So we're talking with you today because of obviously the COVID pandemic that stretched across the country and across the world really has had many people forced to work from home, including myself and you and many of your colleagues at Steinberg Hart. A lot of people are wondering, is the construction industry going to get shut down? Or are people still working? Have you gotten
Yeah.
any sense from your clients if the industry is still humming along just under slightly different circumstances?
Yes, that's what it is. The industry is definitely humming along under slightly different circumstances, and I say that also because construction is considered an essential business. It's a part and parcel as well as a very important and cog in the wheel of economy. We haven't seen a slowdown on projects that are in construction. We have seen a little bit of a change in the pace of other projects that are still ongoing and on the drawing board, so to speak. Our leadership at Steinberg Hart has been very proactive in making sure that the switch happened as soon as we could. But for the most part, we are chugging along. There's a lot of activity that's happening on coordination meetings, meetings that are happening with questions and collaboration related to job site observations and so forth. Yeah. I think the first thing that I see monumentally that has changed is the way we communicate. We were so used to being in an office and emailing each other. It has dramatically changed. And I feel like the whole idea of working remotely has sparked off video conferencing, teleconferencing, and taken it to a new level. And that has created this paradigm shift where people are constantly wanting to keep in touch with each other, even though there is no physical presence. So I find myself on video conference calls almost every hour, on the hour. And that essentially means that not only are we getting our work done, but we're also seeing each other and trying to sort of catch up for that missing element of the human factor.
On a granular level, talk a little bit about how it's changed the way you accomplish the typical tasks that you would do in your job.
So I think one of the big things that I want to point out is Bluebeam has always been ahead of the curve. And I say that simply because even before the idea of cloud-based collaboration was so mainstream as we see it today, Bluebeam had done the necessary needful by providing a platform like Studio where immaterial of where you are able to work on a set of drawings and collaborate with the teams and keep the process of communication online and going. And that has become more prevalent today. So from a day-to-day standpoint, not only are we using Bluebeam as we always have in a full capacity, we are also using other platforms like Microsoft Teams to track our goals. We're setting goals. There's the planner aspect of Teams that a lot of my team members have found extremely useful. We are using Poly, which is another app within Microsoft Teams to create surveys and polls and check the temperature, so to speak. And obviously, there are other aspects like how we share our documents for tracking deadlines, tracking sheets, and so forth that are being leveraged through the online collaborative process. And because of the availability of a platform as diverse as Teams, not only are we using it for tracking and keeping our goals on place or in place, we are also using it on a daily basis to communicate, like I mentioned. And then the crux of where all the collaboration happens is still Bluebeam, because when it comes to talking to our consultants and our team members and our partners, Bluebeam is still sort of ahead of the curve with Studio and so forth to keep the process of collaboration going. Studio has always been the paradigm program or software which is used for marking up drawings in a construction documents, design document, or mainly technical drawing scenario or format, right? The forum has always been looking at it as a technical drawing format. But the one thing that I've seen that is dramatically shifting is our accounting team is using Bluebeam Studio to use invoicing. So when you have a bunch of project managers that are utilizing PDFs to mark up and sign invoices digitally, we're using Studio for that. And then the other thing is designers have a completely different way of communicating. You have to understand that within the design realm, the way people communicate in the design phase is so much more different than the way people communicate when they are marking up drawings and tracking, benchmarks. So Bluebeam has become a sort of a preferred methodology even in the design phase where you have 3D renderings and orthographic projections that are used for schematic purposes are being marked up in Studio as opposed to just a technical set of drawings. So everything that's in the schematic realm is usually done in other platforms, right? But right now we're in a place where we can't have physical pinups in a studio environment. That's something we do almost on a weekly basis. Every studio within Steinberg Hart has a review process where the principals, the PICs, all the design directors get together, stand in front of a wall, pin up all the drawings, and talk about it. But now we're doing that using Bluebeam. I think that's amazing because that
Yeah.
has changed the way the program is looked at as a platform, not just for technical calibration or collaboration, but also for design conversations.
Wonderful. Well, Gotham, thanks for taking the time out of this unusual circumstance to join us today and chat with us and
Yes,
provide
sir.
our viewers with some insight. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me, Frank. Everyone, please be safe. And by the time we have the next conversation, everyone will be back to normal. Take care of yourself. Thank you again.